Well, what is up, everybody? Another wonderful Monday night at Chewin the BBQ Fat. Adam, my man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you, Brian?
Well, I'm just absolutely wonderful. Man, look at you. Look like you're just chilling out in a rustic cabin. What's going on with you?
Oh, we're just hanging out up here in Pigeon Forge for a week.
You cooking anything this week?
No.
No, I don't blame you.
No.
And thank you all for coming on. Like our page, share the page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on TikTok, whatever you want to do. Let's keep it going. We're going to get all this stuff going on, and it's going to be good. All right, Adam, we got a fun night tonight, don't we? I mean,
got a good lineup, I think.
I do too. My dog is – look, we got such a good lineup. I mean, one of their guys is – I mean, he's barbecue famous, 100% barbecue famous. And so once we get him in the background, we'll bring him on. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. It was good.
What'd you do?
We cooked a few turkeys, and then we went to my wife's sister's house, and we ate, and then we came home.
Man, did you cook anything?
I cooked 3 turkeys and 2 hams.
3 turkeys and 2 hams. Man, it was 1 ham, so you added another ham to the mix. I like that.
Yep.
Actually, it was 2 turkeys and 1 ham. So now, man, look at you. You're like a full-on caterer.
Yeah.
I love that. What'd you cook on?
A Southern Pride 500.
Man, look at you. First time cooking on it?
Second time.
Second time. That's what I'm talking about. Well, we had the Jarvises. We went up to Ellen's parents' house in Dahlonega. We did that, and then we went down to Hilton Head. Spent the rest of the week in Hilton Head. Had a good time. Good time being with others, being with family. Cole, Micah got to play golf. Here comes Ellen in the background. Say, hey, babe. Hi. But, man, it was good. It was good to get away, good to get refreshed. Now it's time to get going. We are right around the corner for – the dog is getting something. Right around the corner for the holiday, Christmas coming up. Oh, my God. We got Chef Greg on. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, my man. That guy's incredible, isn't he? I mean, he's an incredible cook. My dog's got a spoon. But it's just a great it's a great time of year. I love this time of year. Favorite time of the year. It's that time of the year where you're, what it's all about, this holiday season, giving back, doing for others. Man, I just love it. Tomorrow's Giving Tuesday. Do what you need to do. Help other people out. It's going to be a great day. But it is also, Adam, the 12 days of Christmas. We are on day 2 of the 12 days of Christmas. I think today's is free shipping, possibly? Cyber Monday. I don't know what it means, but Cyber 24. There you go. She's throwing them at me.
The generosity.
There you go. So you got your opportunities. What's up, Frank? Oh my gosh, we got all the who's who on here tonight. Gonna be awesome. Fun times. Joelle, miss you tonight. We were supposed to have a girls' night tonight. Ellen promised that. She said some people couldn't come on, so she's moving that to next week. Correct, honey? Correct. All right. So that's enough of that. Adam, let's just get going.
Let's go.
Let's just go ahead and bring on. Look at that guy. David, how are you doing, my man?
Great. Absolutely fantastic. How are you guys doing?
I mean, awesome. I don't know if you're in the clouds, if you had
explosion. Smoke is rolling. The smoke is rolling around here. Always got the smoke rolling.
The smoke is rolling. How have you been, bud?
Good. Survived the holidays, the first set of holidays. Went to Knoxville, saw the fam, had a good time. Did not overeat, thank goodness. But we had a good time.
You didn't overeat. Why
No,
not?
man. It's gonna be a long season. I guess it's gonna be a long holiday season, so I'm trying to take it easy. I can take it
Pacing
easy.
yourself. Are we pacing
Pacing myself.
ourselves?
We're pacing ourselves. We're pacing ourselves this holiday season. I think I'm a grown ass man. I know I shouldn't do those things I used to do when I was a kid. I don't need that extra. I didn't go back for seconds. Never went back for seconds this year. I was kind of proud of myself. I don't know if
Oh boy.
Joel even noticed that. I did not go back for seconds.
Well, why did you not
Just
go?
saying.
Who cooked?
So my mom cooked, and then my dad. We had did a little family thing with him where we kind of did steaks and everything. So had a few great meals, but did not just kind of took it easy. It was nice, kind of nice.
Okay. So it wasn't the fact that the food wasn't that good.
Oh man, food
Or
was
you just
delicious.
delicious. I know Frank
Yeah.
David's in the clouds. We're just, I mean, he's on cloud nine over there. I tell you what. I mean, he's even like leaning back like he's just big time. He's big time in this, ain't he?
Stretching back, it's nice. Yes, taking it easy. No, this is actually in our business. This is our busiest time of year. So, hey, anytime I can take a break and take it easy, man. Liquor business. This is our Super Bowl. The next 3 weeks are our Super Bowl. So, man, we gotta get there. We gotta get you people drunk as much as possible.
This
Consume
is this is
consumption.
allocation season, isn't it? When are they allocated? Or is it already happened?
Most of it's already out. We don't have a lot in our portfolio, but most of that stuff's already out. So it's not. It's kind of slowed down. I'm sure a few extra things will be coming out here shortly, but we don't our portfolio wouldn't bother that so much.
Okay. So if you were to get an allocated anything, what would you go after?
I'd probably in my portfolio I'd probably go after some Four Roses, some Four Roses if it's anything allocated at all. But some Old Fitzgerald will be good. Some Elijah Craig toasted barrel will be nice.
Man, I love
Some
that.
mix,
I love toasted barrel. What about
yeah.
the what other Elijah Craig do y'all have in your lineup?
We have the 18. We have all the Elijah Craig. So the 18-year-old stuff. We have we used to sell the single barrel, the Evan Williams single barrel, which is the same company, but that's been all allocated now to Kentucky, so they keep it all there. So we have the Heaven Hill Bald and Bond, which is delicious. But yeah, everything from the Elijah Craig we carry the whole portfolio. But there's not a lot of new stuff anymore. Toasted barrel, you get
Who
that.
was the distiller for Elijah Craig?
Oh, good gosh, man, you lost your mind. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Good to tell you. I can say Joe Smith is about the closest I get. I have no idea.
I don't mean that like who the person is, but what's the
Oh,
company?
it's Heaven Hill. I'm sorry, Heaven
Heaven
Hill.
Hill. Okay.
Yep, Heaven Hill.
So,
Yep. Yep.
all right. See, Joel, I'm going to ask him after the show's over if there's a way that I can get a bottle of that. That 18 years sounds amazing.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, Nicholas, good to see you, man. I know the Browns are on. You could watch the Browns, or you could hang out here with Adam and David, and then we got one more guy coming on. He is such big time. I don't know if we can get him off another podcast, but I mean, the guy's amazing. I mean, Wes Garrett, he'll be on maybe eventually. We'll see. Chris, David is an angel. I don't know what you're talking about. Adam, would you agree with that? I mean, David is pretty much an angel.
I don't know.
Oh,
I am. My head is in the clouds most of the time. That is true. I mean, and it's usually the smoky clouds like this. So, yes, I'm an angel. Chris, of all people, I'm an angel. Like
man.
a dog, you got's an angel.
What's
Awesome
up, Toby?
dog.
How you doing, man? God, it was so good to see you at our contest. It was awesome to have you there. Glad to see everything's working out for you, my man. Good to see you. All right, Adam. I've been talking way too much, and I know you are the hostess with the mostest, or the host with the most. So let's roll with it.
Oh, so David, what's your favorite time of year? Is this the favorite time of year, or is it?
I would say no. I don't like from work standpoint, probably not. It gets just so hectic right now. I'm gonna go with the springtime. I think is my favorite, honestly. We've lived in so many different places, and with Joel's travel for work, and we've lived up in the north where we've seen the snow that's been 6 feet tall. And we're like, man, I'm so over that. So no, wintertime, I'm not a big fan of anymore. It's okay, but I'll give you springtime, man, because it just seems like, hey, that's the beginning of everything. Now, granted, there's a few things that we'll do in terms of classes and whatnot this winter, but right, springtime that's where it's at for me.
Hold
For
on
sure.
now. We're going to get into that later. Don't you be bringing up too much on our agenda. I know you're jumping ahead of the agenda.
Oh, I have no idea. There's an agenda. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's only Adam and I have it. Only Adam and I have it.
There's a first for everything.
Well, Adam, I understand where he said this isn't his favorite time of year anymore because the ABS Classic is over, and it's just like right. Like, I mean, what do you have to look forward to after the ABS Classic, right?
That's
I
right.
agree.
And,
Yeah.
and his wife drove their rig all the way there without him, set it up, got all the drums ready, and all he did is come in and helped her cook. You couldn't have asked
Celebrated his birthday.
for his
It was
birthday.
great. It was great. It's the best thing ever. I mean, I don't know why this couldn't be a thing. Where's Tanya? Tanya needs to be getting to know how to do the rig a little bit better, and she can drive and she can set everything up for you, Adam. It's really nice. It was really, really nice. I enjoyed it.
I mean, it was awesome. It was very impressive. She came in, she was frazzled, but you would have never known it. She came in, set up everything. You, David, we're gonna blame you because we can. You let everything fly out the door, right?
Sent her with no power cord.
I don't
Sent her
know.
with no power cord, no water, like a leaking water hose. I mean,
It's not that power cord is somewhere between Kansas City and our house. I guess I have no idea. Absolutely blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind.
oh look, Jason Singletary, he's on today. I tried to call him today, see if he'd want to come on with us, and he didn't answer. I think he didn't answer, knowing that I was going to ask him to come on with us, and that's why he didn't answer my phone call. I think, Adam, people are catching on. They don't answer our phone calls on Monday afternoons, do they?
No, that's why you do it on Sunday.
Well, that's why you're so good. That's why you're so good.
Jason, do not disturb on Mondays for Jason.
He hit that on me, bam, right away.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and jump. Oh wow, holy smokes, everybody! I need everybody to get ready. Go ahead and just take a deep breath. Our next guest is on. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, we can't.
What is up?
I guess I'm off the show now. All right, I guess I'm off. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night. See y'all later. Good night.
Oh,
I
no.
see David actually did go to hell, like I told him earlier. I see that. So I didn't mean to wish that on you, but I'm glad you made it there. What is up with that?
I mean, I'm telling you,
Smoke,
hey,
baby.
I got to throw a disclaimer out there. Adam, look, we are privileged now. We have a professional on. He's got a professional background.
Yeah.
He's got a professional microphone. He is 100%. It was in his contract. If he comes on somewhere else, he has to show up the other shows.
It's true. It's true. He actually held my feet to the way. He had the lawyers. We got on a Teams call with the lawyers today, and he told me, he said, listen, if I can't get 30 minutes from you today, I need the $77,000 back. And I've already spent it. So I look, you're not getting your money back. Christmas is here. Alexis has got a lot of Lululemon. I'm not. So let's get started. When did I come on? I need to time this thing. Adam, do you know exactly when I popped in?
You were late.
Yeah.
You were late.
And I want to apologize to the thousands of people that are watching. I am very, very sorry. Won't happen again. I think Adam's trying to say something. Y'all be quiet.
The tens of people that showed up. That's nice.
Wrong show. Once again, wrong show. We don't have the thousands. That's the other show. That's your show.
No, they're not coming for me, bro. I am a coattail rider, and I'm okay with that. Thank you, Matt. 816. So y'all time me. But no, I'm glad to be back on here, man. You guys are my people, and this is always fun. So let's get into this thing, man.
Let's go. So, Wes, we've got David on. I mean, we are privileged enough to have David on. Adam and I we've been co-hosting here, and he is talking about some of the wonderful liquor drinks he has. Your show is known for the drinking. What is the drink of choice on Chicken Fried with Chicken Fried?
Now that I'm doing dialysis, I've had to cut back a lot. No, what I believe it or not, I like drinking margaritas. You call it whatever. Maybe it's my barbecue superstition because we do that every Friday at lunch. I will drink a margarita during the show, or I'll do Crown and OJ. Some people think that's weird. I don't care. I like it. I got onto it a few years ago, but those are my two drinks of choice.
Crown plain and OJ or Crown flavored?
Just Crown, David.
No. What is the flavor?
Let me go grab my peaches first, and I'll show you.
Crown peach and OJ. You nasty. You so nasty. God
it's
almighty.
Nasty.
So Adam's a big Crown guy, right? Have you had Crown and OJ?
No.
And he won't do it. He won't. He's scared. That's like purple drink. It'll get up on you before you know it.
Yeah. God, you missed your calling.
Man, I love it. All right, so what are y'all doing this off season or is it the off season? I think it's the off season in barbecue. There is two contests this weekend. We've got Demopolis and the barbecue jackpot, and there could possibly be one in Arizona. I'm not 100% sure. But what are y'all doing in the off season, getting ready for next year? David?
Doing a class. Actually, and I am going to do some test runs this year on pork and chicken. We've done so many classes, in all honesty, this past couple years that we've almost classed ourselves out. We're too classy. Woo-hoo. No, we've had so many classes and learned from so many great cooks that we're almost kind of confusing ourselves, and we're going to combine a lot of this stuff together and really come up with something to kind of hit 2025 hot and heavy. Because at some point you got to settle in to your zone of where you need to cook and what your flavor profiles that you want to do, and quit jumping around. I think it was last year. We had a good year last year, this 2024, but in all honesty, I was bad about jumping around from injections and rubs and stuff like that to where I never had a good rhythm. So yeah, this season this off season we're going to practice more. I actually bought a drum from you for that particular reason, Ryan, is to have here at the house at all times to do more practicing this off season. So that's our main goal.
Yeah, Bill.
Yes.
I can see that. I can do some Crown with a little Sprite.
That's the best.
Is it? Is it really?
Regular Crown, not flavored Crown.
Yeah. Well, look, Crown peach and juice is like you're at a all expenses paid resort, man. That's what they give you. And I dig that. So try it. Try it one time.
Sipping Swine, you can make us one and we'll try it.
You know what? I will do that. And if I'm not there, I will send you the ingredients. And then we'll do it.
So, Wes, what about you?
I'm bad about not practicing. Now, I'm going to talk about it a lot. I'm going to tell people I'm going to practice. My first practice will be either at Sippin' Swine or to be Smoke on the Shores. I am going to take a class. I do think you should take a class a year. I've said that 1,000 times, but David's exactly right. I do think that you can overdo classes. I think, I'm going to do 3 and learn. I think that can kind of oversaturate your program. I think you need to find somebody you respect that does well. And Bill, if you watch, I just popped, and I'll say, if you guys haven't signed up, first of all, the ABS class that you guys are doing, 4 great pit masters, awesome. If you guys have the time and the funds.
3 great pit masters.
Yeah.
And a guy that does a barbecue show.
Well, he's damn good at pork. I can promise you that. So I don't know why he's doing chicken at this one. He's an idiot. No, I'm kidding. He's doing pork, but the Triple H class, man, if you want to jump 2 tiers, and I've told people that if you want to jump 2 tiers in this game, go do that class. Absolutely invest.
We have there's only a few spots left in our raffle. For $50, you have an opportunity to win the Triple H class. We are almost done. Like, it's almost full.
That is stupid, first of all. If you don't get your money in on that, I don't know what to tell you. But invest in your barbecue career and go do that class.
Save you a
And
lot.
look, it may not be something. We're being real on here. That's the only way we know how to do, right? It may be something that you may change, and you may want to do something with the recipes to fit you. But the stuff that you learn from that class and the little nuances, you're gonna take throughout your barbecue career. It'll get you, like I said, you'll jump 2 tiers overnight when you do it. So, but do those. But at the same time, when you do those one-on-ones, pop in another one next year. So that's what we're doing. We're doing the janky leg class this weekend, and looking forward to that and finding out, who he sold his soul to get what he's got. And hopefully we don't have to do the same thing, but just try to learn some of the magic there. And, I'll practice that the first part of next year. See how it does.
Big class this weekend. That is a class a lot of people are waiting to take, been looking forward to taking, and it's going to be awesome. Adam, what are you going to do, buddy?
Well, I'm going to North Carolina next week to cook at Fort Bragg or Fort Liberty, and then we're going to do
show off
one in Florida, and then we're going to do your class.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
What are you doing in Florida? Well, what's going on down there?
Jimmy Jam. It's January the 6th.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your barbecue doesn't stop, is what you're saying. You're just all year.
Pretty much all year, because we're doing the hog drop on New Year's. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Nice.
Hey, are you doing the hog drop?
Am I doing the hog drop? It's still in the air, up in the air. I believe so. We'll see.
He's doing it. Joel said they are.
Joel said we are. Yes. I tell you, as cold as got around here, I'm thinking about winterizing my RV anytime soon. Good gracious, man, it's been cold. Things start freezing around here. It made me a little nervous.
It's pretty hot in your place right there, smoking.
Smoking where I'm at right now.
What about you, Brian? You gonna do anything independently, or you just gonna take notes from your own class? Like, seriously, what's on your agenda?
What's on my agenda? Oh Lord, my agenda.
Cooking more next year.
No, we've already looked at that. We're cooking. We're actually going to cook Sip and Swine. We've cooked Sip and Swine the past couple of years, but Robert and I both, we're going to cook it separate. We're going to have our same compound, but we're just going to cook separate. So that's going to be fun. And then I think we've got Greenwood. We're going to cook Greenwood, and then we've got Kennesaw that we'll cook with Adam and Tanya if they'll have us back again. Then probably the open at the Royal, unless something happens that we get a grand. I don't see it happening, but we're gonna teach a class. We're excited about teaching that pork class for our class. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I am excited. I'm nervous about it, right? Like, I'm normally the guy that's just up there talking, being the little jester, asking stupid questions and having a lot of fun with that. Jason Singletary actually has knocked me out and said, I want to do that. So if you know Jason, he is a fun guy. He's going to keep everything rolling. But I think and we'll probably take another class or two, or we'll do something to stay in it. Our goal now is to cook the bigger contest. I did see where Pusa Q is coming back next year. Pusa Q is coming back, of course.
Same weekend.
And I'm going to be in Cooperstown, New York for Micah playing in a baseball tournament that weekend. So that's a 12-year-old only deal. So I'm going to miss that, unfortunately. But we're going to cook as much as we can, and I don't know what it's going to look like. We don't normally know where we're going to go until I want to go cook. I want to go up to Jason Cole's and cook his contest. Want to go do that. I don't know if I can or not. But we're going to try to practice. I say that we're not going to. I'm like, David, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to talk to Adam every morning about barbecue, and it's going to be like I cook barbecue.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And if he keeps getting on fire, we might as well just sit at the house.
Who?
I mean,
you.
How about you? You keep staying hot like that. We might as well can we just send you like a couple $100 it'll save us money by not going.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
You'll take it.
I'll
All
take
right,
it.
so I've got all right. So we've got some things going on this week. I think it's this week. Normally we do the KCBS nominate. Normally, last year we did one of our best class shows when we had the nominees on or whatever you want to call them for the KCBS nominations. This year, KCBS has decided to do their own show. More power to them. Glad they're doing it. Love it. That's coming up quickly. Make sure you watch the show Wednesday night. Wes can tell you the details. Figure out who you're going to vote for. Make sure you vote. All of that being said, I think I've talked to both of y'all a little bit about this, or all of us about it. I would like to have a discussion about why do people run for the board, good, bad, and different, and what are your thoughts on KCBS nomination? We don't need to get into any of the nominees. We don't need to single out anybody, but just as a whole of what's going on with the KCBS nominations. You got something going on.
I was just, it's probably going to piss some people off, and I don't mean for it to, but I just see this thing as a yearly, or however they run a year. Isn't this thing a yearly thing? Obviously, because we had them last year.
But 2-year run, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I know it seemed like it was just last year they were running, but maybe they get another. Bottom line is, these are great people, and I'm not talking people specific. I never see any changes. I never see anything. And I get the fact we can go read the minutes and see what they did. And look, there's some people I'm sure pushing. I see Jason Cole's on here, so he can probably shed a little more light on how these things work, or it just seems to be super slow. I know people get on these and they're running on, we're going to do this, this, and this, and they can't do it by themselves. So maybe they were running and they had all intentions of changing one or two things. But it just seems like nothing happens when these people come on the board. And KCBS is just stagnant, stays where it is. Not saying people are doing wrong, so I don't want anybody coming at me and getting pissed off, but somebody tell me what's changed for the great for KCBS in the last few years. And if I'm overlooking something, remind me and I'll apologize. Just feel like it's stagnant.
Well, I'll throw my 2 cents in and agree with Wes, saying that I think KCBS board is just like any other board. It could be the homeowner association board, it could be a board of directors for a company. Boards don't get anything done. I'll be honest with you. It seems like to me that they have meetings for meetings, especially if it's a volunteer thing, right? These guys aren't getting paid. This isn't their full-time job. So what I've found through working through boards that I've been on, if it's a volunteer situation, you seem like you just have 5 or 6 meetings, maybe 7 or 8 meetings during the year, and it's just a lot of chatter. And unfortunately, no one can spend 100% of their time to actually making things happen. So sure, I was mentioned to Brian this afternoon that I saw a meme today that said that the most ineffective corporations are the ones that have meetings all the time, because if you're having meetings, you're not actually doing anything, right? So the problem is that for me is that there may be agendas, there may be ideas, there may be things that happen, but and this is not a reflection of just KCBS. It's really boards in general. Most boards have a lot of type A personalities on there, and then so therefore there's just so many great ideas come about, but you just may or may not have as many doers on there and actually implementers or to actually get stuff done. So for me, it would be, hey, what does the association membership want to see happen? If there's 1 or 2 things that need to be changed and that's what happens throughout the year, great. If it's a scoring system thing, change it. They've talked about changing the scoring system for the last, I don't know, we've been members for 4 years, so the last 4 years, nothing's really changed. They've talked about how judges judge. Maybe that thing's been changed. Nothing's really changed. There's ideas that I think people float out there, but nothing has really happened. I think there's a lot of great talking points last year from the nominees, but it just seems like nothing is really moved along in a year. And if it takes more than 365 days to get something done, what's the point? Granted, I'm not saying anything bad about the people that are on there. It just things just seem to take time when the board is not able to spend their 100% of the time doing it. If you're not being paid and you have a job outside of something else, it makes it tough.
I agree with Zeus.
I agree with that.
All right, so let me ask you all a question. Wes, we had this conversation earlier today. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, KCBS was bulletproof, right? Like they could do no wrong. In the past couple of years, I think there's a little bit of chink in the armor, you could say, right? But what really needs to be, in your opinion, 100% in your opinion, doesn't mean anything else, right? Your opinion. But fundamentally, what needs to be changed? Because most organizations are designed to have a board to where nothing can really change. Like they're built to where you can't change anything, right? So what do you think that is just so fundamentally wrong with KCBS or any other? And the reason we're talking about KCBS is because the nominations are coming up. Voting's coming up. I think it's December 16th or 20, something along those lines. But what is so fundamentally wrong that needs to be changed? Because as I've talked to y'all before, like every person that comes on and runs for the KCBS board is like, I'm going to change this. This is so bad. This is so, and nobody ever makes any changes, right? And I have my personal reasons on that. But anyway, but what do you think is so fundamentally wrong that you would like to see changed?
I'm sure I'll get into a little more stuff later of maybe where there's some what I think should happen, in my opinion. And I'm not running by no means, because hell, I wouldn't get any votes anyway. They wouldn't take me serious. But we're losing too many contests. I was just talking about this on another podcast of, this state had, however many contests. If you remember, Brian, Alabama, and Robert and them can talk about how many contests did they have. It seemed like from the top of the state to the bottom, and we're losing contests. I mean, there's not but just a couple there in Alabama, and that's crazy. That was at one point in the South. It felt like that was the pinnacle of barbecue of every weekend you could cook a KCBS contest. We're losing them. I think it needs to be easier. I know organizers that are trying to get this, and it feels like they're pulling teeth trying to get these things going. You got to spend this money. You got to, get all this stuff approved and it needs to be an easier process. But, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, does KCBS not have a sales team? They need to have somebody out there going to some of these old places and being like, hey, what do we need to do to get this back? What do we need to do to help you with? Do we need to, bypass the fee to get it started? We want to bring, if we can get 20 to 25% of these old contests back or get somebody to pick them up, there needs to be some type of salespeople out there to be doing that, to work on it. We're dropping too many and not picking up enough. And it just feels like it's cannibalizing itself. So I'm tired of seeing it to leave, because now you got people, we're already spending more. KCBS can't really, they could, but they're not going to do anything about the price of meat, because even if you were to go, let's be honest here, if you were to change something where everybody says, all right, we're going to do it to where you got to cook this type of meat and we're going to provide the meat, or you got to cook a choice, or people are going to still cheat and bring in their own meat on the side. They can't control that. But what we can control is not driving 6 hours to a contest, maybe having one here, that's an hour away, or just, helping stuff come back where we got more in Georgia, more in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, the whole 9 yards. But just making it more simple for that, listening to the members, having these votes to where you're, I'm a proponent of table averages. I am sure people can come on here and say why that's not good. I get it, but as of right this second, I think tables need to be lined out, per the average. Just because I feel that way, I can be swayed another way if you can show me data. But there are some just little low hanging fruit that I would love to see them guys change. Maybe even going back to making the point system a whole year. I know there was a reason why they changed it. There was supposedly a really good reason, and I get it. Make it from January to December. Just little small things to show us that you're changing and you're listening to people. As of right this second, I haven't seen anything. And I'll stop my filibuster. I just haven't seen anything that's changed. Have you guys? Or you can correct me where I'm wrong. Nothing's changed since the last board was in.
No, I think you're right, Wes. That so many people ran on the whole point system change or a table change or something to change there. I tell you one thing I'd like to see is KCBS as a organization get more involved in the actual. Okay, if it's a KCBS event, then to me, it's kind of like, okay, NASCAR is a NASCAR event at a NASCAR racetrack, right? NASCAR brings in the fans, they bring in the racers, they bring in this. The organizer is going to be the track owner, right? So I'm not quite sure how KCBS gets away with say, okay, it's a KCBS event, but they don't actually promote the event. It's on their website. I get it. It's on their events. You got to kind of scroll through things, but there should be a lot more Facebook appearance from KCBS saying, "Hey, this week is going to be events and this." That sure they can't make show favoritism, but man, you could social media the crap out of so many events and help them promote things. And maybe there's a link, a centralized link for signing up teams to where the organizer doesn't have to sign up teams individually on their own Google website. I know Wes has been so active in getting people signed up on Google whatever the heck he does, Google Docs. So maybe there's a centralized way of doing it for the KCBS can say, okay, you come to KCBS event, here's how you sign up, and how you pay. They could work that out. It may pay through KCBS, but then it goes to the organizer, how that works out. But I'd like to see KCBS so more involved in the actual advertising or promoting of events, not just sitting back and going, we are just here for the integrity of the sport in terms of the judging process. I like to see them do a little bit more from that side of it, because they do have a big platform. They do have a good website that they can promote more things. And then when it comes to maybe the judging stuff, I mean, I'll just say that for me, we can get into a whole big squabble about how the judging should be done. I just would like to have a system that has some sort of consistency. I mean, I don't care if it's 150 teams, if it's 24 teams. Obviously, 24 team deals are better, or 25 team deals are better, but there's got to be some sort of consistency, because I mean, I've heard Wes say on other shows that nobody likes going out there and doing so well on 3 categories, and all of a sudden you hit some sort of table and you get a 153, and you're like, what just happened there? This is not right. Now, granted, I'm going to go a little bit of a tangent here, and I talked to some folks about this. I do think there is a little bit of an issue with how scoring is from judges now, and I'm going to preface this by a couple of different ways. I'm going to say this. I think there are way too many 180s and way too many 700s, but I will say the level of meat that people are putting out there now compared to 10 years ago as a group is maybe far superior than it used to be. And like when Brad Leininger and those guys are cooking 10, 15 years ago, getting 180s, more people now, because of the classes, because of internet shows or the barbecue league or whatever they're going to now, or helping each other, the level of competition is just really got so high. So would you have more 999s, 180s? Would you have more 700s? Sure. But now people are getting their feelings hurt because they don't get 180s all the time. I just took a judging class at the Jack this year, and I looked at it and I looked at the scorecard for the first time. And some people have never looked at the scorecard before, and they go, it's good, very good, excellent. Well, very good, 8. I mean, in all honesty, I've been the guys like, hey, that's fucking bullshit. I don't get 8s. I think an 8's not so bad now. Maybe an 8 is where we need to readjust some things to where 8s become more of a standard, and 9s are like, wow, that's exceptional. 9s probably more good.
For a second, you're about to piss off everybody because everybody turns in 180s. It's the damn judges' fault that they didn't 180 because they've never. There's not a cook out there that hasn't turned in the perfect box, every box that they turn in is a perfect box. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, David, because every cook that I know that I talk to only turns in 180s. They don't turn in anything else. I mean,
West particular.
that is it's unheard of that anybody would turn in something that's not a perfect score, because theirs is the absolute best barbecue that's ever been cooked, until somebody tries it and judges it and says, oh, wait, this isn't the best. And then we in turn say, oh, these judges are idiots because they didn't give me a perfect score on my food that I think is perfect. Right? We cannot accept people telling us that our stuff is not the absolute best in the world. And
true.
And
very true.
And see, right?
No, Jason.
Yes, Jason. Thank you, Jason.
No,
but
let me say something on that.
I just think it's so funny. I just laugh, and I laugh all the time because I hear over and over and over and over again, man, that was the best food I've ever turned in, and I didn't get a 180.
It may have been the best food they have ever turned in. It doesn't mean it's 999, but what I'm going to say is, it goes partially both ways. There are people turning in some exceptional food, and they may not be getting the stuff that they should be getting. We need to look at those judges that are historically. I don't believe on getting on Facebook or whatever. And honestly, these judges don't care. I want to go ahead and say this right now. It doesn't. Excuse me, I got the hiccup. It doesn't matter if you get on and claim. You can't identify these judges anyway. They don't. It's like whatever. But it doesn't help that you get on there and you badmouth judges but the reason why I think that these scores, the inflation of scores, and we were talking about this not too long ago, was a 682 used to win your contest. A 682 right now, you're towards the back of the pack, and as we said today, a 707 can't win you a contest anymore. It'll get you third, and but these judges are almost a little nervous to give out an 8, to give out a 7, and they'll throw in a 9 just because they don't want to hear the bitching and complaining. We're kind of but then again, that's where we're wrong. Where they're wrong is you do got some of these eaters that show up and they have a pocket full of 8s, and that's what you're going to get, even if it deserves. So, that's why I go back to, I do like the table averages, because we do have to have judges. But something I want to say is we got to have teams even more. And I'm not saying you got to give 9s out to keep teams, but if we can get these tables balanced to where you could put a historically low score with a high score, then balance, I just think you won't have those dips so much, Brian. And those dips that I'm referring to will run people out. You'll get people that have pulled a 660 and they're just so pissed off, and they're already on the verge, and we're already losing, some cooks, that they're like, I can go do golf. I can do something else. But you know what? If they're bottom 4th in the pack with a 679 or 680, we didn't have a bad cook. That's all I'm saying. The little things. Logan mentioned it as well. Let's get into this 2 meat and 4 meat categories. I promise you, I will go across state lines and cook a 2 meat category on a weekend and could win some money, as long as it's not pro and backyard. If we can just say, hey, 2 meat, I'll cook these 2 meats. I think everybody on this panel would as well.
I would.
Why not?
I mean, I just wish it was pork and brisket. I don't know why it's got to be chicken and ribs, because I cannot cook those. But other than that, I mean, Lord help us. No, David, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I agree 100% with what you're saying. I hear it. I mean, y'all all hear it all the time. Right, we hear
Absolutely.
it all the time.
Yeah. I just don't know if there needs to be a reset. I don't know how you do that. Like I said, 10 years ago, excellent. A 9 was something that was like, wow, what, a 9? That's crazy. But now there's so many more 9s because the level of actual cooking, I think, is far superior as a whole than it used to be.
I agree 100%.
So we've kind of worked ourselves up to a point, to a ceiling. You're like, well, shit, how do we get down? How do we go back down? Where do you go from that? So, I think judges are doing that, though.
I was talking to Wes today, and I believe, and look, for the first time, probably since our contest, I talked to Wes and we talked about our contest. I haven't talked to really anybody other than Adam for a little bit, but I haven't talked to anybody really about our contest. And we talked about that. All right, we'll bring it up. We talked about 311, 311. We
talked about that. No?
And I feel, and and look, I don't know. I don't, I was talking to Wes today. I was like, I haven't looked at the numbers. When you don't cook a contest, I had no reason to go back and look at any of the scores or anything. I don't really care, right? Like I didn't cook it. I don't have to worry about how I got screwed that day, right? Like I didn't. But what I did look at was chicken. 1 through 5 had the same score. Pork, I think we had 3 or 4 tied with the same score in pork in the top. And to your point, David, you just said 311, right? 311. And I made this comment to Wes today, and I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people. I love you all. I don't mean to piss off anybody. It's not
good for a podcast. Piss them off.
Yeah, piss them off. I think 311 was probably the best table at the whole contest, right? For the purpose of, it scored a 2nd place and a 12th place in chicken. It scored a 9th place in pork, right? And it it didn't score other tables really in the other categories really well. I have a hard time calling a table of death that gives 2 top 10s and a number 12, right? So my take on that was and this goes to what you were saying, David. So just hear me out before y'all get pissed off. Overall, I think the table was probably scored correctly. But you have other tables that are judging way higher and then some other tables that are judging way lower. So now if somebody's scoring it correctly, like a 174, I was talking to Wes today. If he had 4 174s, that's not a bad score, is it?
No. You're at with the 4 174 5s. I mean, you're sitting close to 700. You know what I mean?
And
you're just barely off of it.
And we're pissed at that table.
Well, the end of scores has Bill just said it in the comments. Overscoring is as big of an issue as underscoring. You remember whenever 180s and 700s were just
unheard
absolutely. There's people now that pepper their doors. There's wallpaper of 180 and 700 stickers out there, and they're just giving away. I mean, how many contests? Oh, the top 9 are 700s. Now, no offense, that shouldn't happen. That should not happen.
100%.
But again, I think it's because social media. I think it's because judges don't want to be come up to him and like, why are you scoring low? I don't think there's nothing wrong, with people not giving out 999s, but you shouldn't historically everything be a 977. If you're doing that and you're doing that all the time, or a 788 or 777, and that's just, you need to be retrained, talk to him and like, look, I
agree with that.
This is not it. You're getting some of the best barbecue in the world and you're still giving out 877s. We got to get you out of here because you're killing people. But if they give out some here and there, that may be what they got. And as I told you today, Brian, this stuff is still all fair because we do 2 contests. And the first one is you cook good meat and you got to make it right, correct? The second contest is you just got to have one of the damn Jarvis kids to get your box on the right table because they obviously they've got what it takes, but you don't know when you hit that bread basket where it's going. And that's why I say if you land on a shitty table or you land on a great table, it was fair game. We've done that to where we've turned in some meat that were great. Go ahead and say it, David. DAL and brisket at the Royal. To say it, you want to say it.
Who did that? That's not even possible. Who would do that?
Great brisket. But there was no sense in complaining about it because it was just as fair for me to get on that table, which I thought was a really bad table, but it wasn't unfair that I got on it. I just landed on it. Same brisket next day does that. We got on a luckier table. That's just barbecue game. Don't bitch, don't complain, cook, go to the next one. Be better.
I think we're our own worst enemy because that 30 minutes after the contest, we're like, I hate this. I'm so mad. I got this score. We don't like cherish. Oh wow, we had a good cook. We had a great time. And then the next day we look at Facebook. We look at the pictures of somebody that put something on there. And they got a 180 in a brisket category, for example. We're like, are you crapping me? That's a 180. Now, granted, we're based on the appearance. We're like, how could they have gotten 9s for appearance when that looked like it got chewed up and then put in the box? So I think we're our own worst enemy when we look at pictures like that. We're like trying to judge our stuff based, close, to what we see on the internet. Now, granted, I will defend ourselves as cooks and go, there's not knowing what we know now by going to so many classes and seeing everything on Barbecue League or wherever we see it now, and so many pictures out there. We know what a 180 in appearance looks like, and I think there's very few and far in between non-9s out there because there's so much good-looking, pretty boxes out there that there really shouldn't be that many 7s or 8s. I mean, you really have to screw some stuff up to get a lot of 7s and 8s, and you can, and maybe the minute things out there, but I've seen some pictures of some stuff over the last couple of years, like how in the world that dude get a 180, or how that guy win that category. There is no way compared to what somebody else may have had in the same category. But again, we're our worst enemy. Should we never look at social media and not even judge based on that? That probably would help out, but no, I think there's got to be, to Wes's point, there's got to be a change. By the way, just real quick, I know it's coming up in the comments here. $79.99. You can get some of Daisy Poop for 2025. We're taking pre-orders right now. Atlanta Barbecue Store will ship. I think Ellen's not a big fan of this, but we will send some to Brian and Ellen, pre-packaged, to be freeze-dried, and they will ship it out at your convenience. So. Yes, please. If you want bulk stuff, guaranteed 180s. Guaranteed 180s. I mean, you're going to walk away like Sailor Nick did this year with 2 wooden trophies at the Jack. I'm not at the Royal this year. So, I mean, it's pretty strong stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, it kind of works out pretty good. So, I'm forced to leave that. Get it today while supplies last. I'm out bagging the stuff in the backyard all the time right now. It's awesome.
All right, so back to the original question. Of KCBS needs change. What do we have to change? So we're saying that change is over and underscoring of tables, averages. What else, Adam? What else needs to be changed? If there's anything that needs changed,
I think we need to get the public involved. But to do that, you're going to have people's choice at every one where they can come out and say, I want to try your food. Well, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to have to do a people's choice. Even though sometimes I don't like doing it, it gets in the way, but we're going to have to do it.
Now, all right, so let's just back up just a second because a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is on the organizers. Organizers have got, like, if there's anything that I think that KCBS can do is help organizers. There's not much going on in the helping an organizer. Like, I'll say it for our contest. The stuff that we do is because we want to do it, not because KCBS tells us to do it, not because KCBS anything, right? So David, I think you were talking about it earlier. They need to do something to make there needs to be a reason that I choose KCBS over CBA, over GBA, over whatever St. Louis Barbecue Society, whatever it is, there needs to be something that gives me a reason why I, as an organizer, choose KCBS over anything else. And I love what you were saying. I think and this is some of the kind of things that KCBS can actually do. They're not going to change judges. They're not going to change the way they score. None of that's going to change. That's the reason why everybody runs on. We're gonna go in there and completely change KCBS, and here we are in the same boat we're always in, right, Wes? But what can they change? What can they do? And I think that's an easy thing they can do, David, is to offer help for a contest, to give me a reason why I should want to be part of KCBS instead of anything else. along those lines.
Well, I'm just spitballing here, but the Mid-South Barbecue Association that was formed this past year, they did a first year. I think they did a lot of phenomenal stuff for the first year, and what they did was impressive to me is that they actually went out and found sponsors to. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this for KCBS. I know it'd be difficult, but they went out and found sponsors to highlight certain events in each state. I don't know that there's got to be some sort of a relationship that KCBS can have with certain sponsors to maybe help out contests. Maybe if it's a Blues Hog, for example, a big company would say, okay, we are a sponsor of KCBS, and then therefore at each event. And I granted it's a big organization, there's a lot of moving parts here, but there's got to be some sort of, I don't know, behind the scenes help from these regional, or if it's there's a Blues Hog a financial support to each event, or I'm not quite sure. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but they've got to take more advantage of their sponsors that they can actually have throughout the year, versus just our sponsors are just going to supplement our income as an organization. Again,
right? We
have to have contests, like Wes says. And the only way to do that is to make it easier for these organizers who some don't have, all the resources they need to make a contest happen. I mean, heck, some don't have power, some don't have water, some don't have the Google Docs thing. They need to have a blueprint of how to run a contest that would really help them out tremendously. And not KCBS's can't. I'm going to say sit on the laurels. That's a bad word to use, but they can't sit around and wait for teams to sign up and for the excitement to be there. I guarantee, and Brian, you'll attest this more than anybody, that there's nothing worse than than having a contest, and then the week prior to the contest, you have 20 more teams show up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to get more judges. That makes it tough on you guys. So if there's some way that we can secure these contests where people aren't moving around and people aren't jumping from contest to contest weekly to find out where other people are going or whatever they're doing. If we can just secure contests and make them more viable, make them more productive, make them more accessible to people, I think that's one good step for KCBS to make these contests continue to grow and not fall off.
And once again, I'm going to say this as an organizer. I don't need KCBS telling me how to run my contest. I don't want KCBS telling me how to run my contest. I need KCBS there to score my contest and to do it fairly. That's why I'm hiring KCBS. Now, any help that they give me, great. It's wonderful. Yeah. And because I feel like, to answer that question, what can I do? Well, we put in a $50 deposit. You pay a $50 non-refundable deposit. You're set up.
Your spot in.
If you choose not to come, well, thank you for the $50 deposit, and I'm going to put that towards my charity, right?
I love it.
There's little things as an organizer that I can do to make it better. Now, what KCBS can do is once they have you, and Kristen, you hit the nail on the head, right? Once they have you and you chose them, do everything in the world to make it easy. Do everything you can to help support them, and that comes back. Generally, that comes back to the reps. And I think, and here's another thing that I've had the conversation with a lot of board members. And I'll tell this to any board member that's running. And I apologize. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about Rod Gray being the CEO. Nobody cares about board members. The average KCBS cook looks at the reps as the face of KCBS.
Absolutely. That's all they know.
That's all they know. So the rep is the absolute 100% most important person that KCBS has, because that is the face of their organization at every contest they go to.
Absolutely. Now, you asked about little small things that we can do, and I was going to say this earlier. We have got to get this 25 team limit. We got to drop that. Now you got to have a limit. You can't have 5 teams. But I'm going to tell you what happens on this, and this has ruined a lot of damn contests. But you've got people out there that want it to be a qualifier, and there's just not at certain times of the year, especially late in the year, people are done. They've really run out of disposable income. They can't cook anymore. They're done. They've used up their barbecue funds. they go cook or they're calling around, because I know these big points chasers, they're calling saying, hey, how many teams you got? Well, it comes back to one of my things last year was what you just mentioned, Brian, was they should all do a $50 deposit. There's a lot of people that can't afford to pay the contest in a row at $250 to $400. They just can't do it. But all the meat they got to get, they're like, hey, I want to sign up, but I've got to wait till I get paid again. Do a $50 sign up, non-refundable deposit, and then you got to have it paid, let's just say a week in advance. That'll get people helping you get judges as well. But drop this damn 25 team qualifier. We're already going south on teams. That is why, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, comments, that you got the Royal now that is extending out 2 years if you won. Before you know it, it's going to be 3 years, because people just can't, there's fewer teams, fewer contests, and you've got a lot of the same winners. So they're like, man, we're going to have less and less of this thing. So drop it to 10 or 15. I'm thinking maybe 15, because if you can't get 15, it don't need to be a contest anyway. But drop this 25 mandate. Go to 15. But again, because if you get 21, I can tell you right now, Adam, are you driving to Louisiana or Arkansas to cook it if you need to get a bung or you need to get into? You're just not. If it's $8,000, $7,000 and it's 21 teams, you're staying at the house.
I will say this, and I do agree, Jason. I do agree 100%. It's not a KCBS rule. That is 100% not a KCBS rule that the Jack and the Royal don't accept those winners. Now, what KCBS can do is go to the Jack and to the Royal and say, hey,
absolutely.
Why do we have to do that at this point in time? We're struggling to get more contests. Is there a way that we can limit that? So I agree 100% with you, Jason. I am the guy I do not want to bash KCBS. I think KCBS has their role, all that kind of stuff. Not saying they do either. But at some point in time, like KCBS isn't in charge with that. But
they have a lot of leeway. They have a lot of, they can lean.
They have a lot of pull.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean. And again, thank you, Jason, for correcting that. But they can go and say, hey, we're trying to make this better. Would you? I guarantee you, because the Jack and the Royal didn't know anything about barbecue until they got with KCBS, and they probably helped come up with these rules together, so they can go back to them and say, hey, we need to drop this because somebody talked to them to get it to where instead of it's a yearly thing, it is a every 2 years. So lean on them the same way, and just that would help, because I know I helped the Vidalia contest. They were struggling to get there, and we did everything we could to make sure we got it. And we did. We got 31 teams, but there was people calling that poor lady daily. How many teams you got? Because if it didn't hit 25, they weren't coming. They were backing out. That's not right for a contest.
Yeah, can I ask you a question, Wes?
One second, yes, sir. We are way past our time, and we're going to keep going, guys. We're going to have a longer show than normal tonight, so we're just going to keep rolling. Go ahead, David.
Drink some coffee.
So my question is this to you, Wes, or Adam, or Brian. Is there a way that because I'd really do applaud some of these contests this year. There are 13 contests or 14 team contests, and they paid out the full deal. Is there a way that the scoring can be different? The team of the year scoring could be different because of not having enough teams? And I don't know. I have no idea how it would work. But and I think to Wes's point, people are calling in and say, well, I'm not going to go to that. Whether to qualify or not, they don't want to go because there's not enough teams there to get those additional points as they're point chasing. Is there a different way to do the points so that we're not having to rely on full fields or 100 teams or 38-5 teams or whatever the case is to do that? I don't know.
If you get 10 grands, I don't care how many teams are in it. You got 2,500 points. You're in the chase, and you've got an opportunity. Yeah. So I don't care if there's 15 teams in there, and you go get those 10.
It's still 250 points plus whatever. It's still 250.
Now I will say this: I like our contest, and you know what? I was talking to Brad the other day, and you know what? November points are just as important as October points. They all count the same. So I've 100% changed my take on everything. Y'all come start off the calendar year at our contest. If that's the way it works, go get them. Because our points are and if you granted our contest, You got a 285. Charles got 2 something else. And
225.
Wes, you got, well, how many points did you get for that win?
I know I'm sitting top 10 in the points right now. I was like, no.
Yeah, you are. You're the third place, right? So
Trust me, I
do
took a
believe-
screenshot of it because I'll drop pretty quick when not cooking that much. But yeah, it was a lot of points because of. But you know, if it like you
don't
said,
take
if
those
it's
points
ending-
away from our contest, because I do think that, like, I'm struggling with that one as a contest that has 30 something teams, right? Like we are the. I don't think you should hurt. I don't think you should take away from a bigger contest, but I don't think you should hurt a small contest either. So I think the points, personally. Listen to Jason. I have sent Jason an email. Just so y'all know, I've sent him the link, and he has chosen not to come on tonight. So, I'm just going to throw it out there at him. I love you, buddy.
too many
but
natties.
He's drinking natties. Yeah. I don't know that answer because I do think there needs to be some sort of benefit to teams, to contest. Once again, I think you've got to have a contest that's good for the organizer, right? Like, I don't think they should all be even. But that's just me.
Yeah, we just got to do something right now, something to buck the system. And these are all great comments. I mean, great suggestions. We just got to buck the system on losing contests and getting more teams involved. And that, again, whether that be a 2 or 4 meet category contest and drop the pro and backyard, it's either 2 or it's 4. You still get points for the 2. Whatever it is, drop. Again, a lot of people are so just honed in on getting a bung and getting qualified for the Royal Invitational. And we've got to lower some of these right now until we're going to get back where we want to be. We're talking kind of doom and gloom. We are going to get back to the heyday. We haven't seen our last heyday of KCBS, but right now I want to say we're in a little bit of a lull, and we just got to figure out how to tweak it. And that's what we're doing tonight. Let's tweak it somehow to get it back.
This all goes back, Adam. This all goes back to our conversation of people are running.
I like Blake's comment.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just easy, just winning May and June. There you go. It's all these people are running for the board for a reason because they love KCBS, and KCBS is doing something right enough to where they want to be a part of it, right? Like they want to be a part of this, but they want to come on in. What are they trying to change? What are they trying to do? I don't know, Adam. We have hogged up everything. I feel like you are just dying. Wes, can you see it? He is just dying to get this conversation going.
If
Adam,
he doesn't shut up, you're going to mute him. Is all I can tell you.
I mean,
I think he's muted. Actually, let's look on there and get him.
Go ahead, Adam.
He laughs in silence. It's amazing.
I think he's asleep. He's sleeping. Laughing.
He's in Gatlinburg.
Wes, he's in Pigeon Forge, Wes. He ain't doing nothing.
Adam, just because Myron goes up there and eats every week, don't mean you got to go up there and eat the same damn prime rib.
Dude, Myron loves him some Adam.
Oh, does he? That's right. Yeah, he got a personal invite to the hog drop.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you can get invited too, Wes. Come on.
Rooster.
Rooster. Is that what he calls you? Rooster?
Yeah.
I don't know, Blaine, if what you're saying, Jerry Jones, is a good or bad thing. I'm going to go with a good thing. Can we just say that? Just give me a little compliment there.
Jerry Jones bitches and moans too much.
I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm saying it's going to be a good thing. I'm trying to be positive here. But Brian, let's to jump it back on there. I guess we need to do a better job, teams, to dig into it. We don't get on there and read the minutes. I couldn't tell you what any of those people have done. So I want to say we're not doing the best thing for them. Of maybe they've done some great things. I just feel it's trickled down. And I don't think I'm alone in saying that because nothing's really changed. Now, as an organizer, has it gotten easier for you? Have there been any additional resources, any additional helping? Or has it just been same old? Pay your $400. We're going to send you this and get you some judges and, make sure you pay for their hotels and stuff.
I will say this. Does anybody else want to talk before me? Adam, no. You good?
Adam, get in there.
All right. As for me, I believe that as an organizer, KCBS is like, I know KCBS's role in my contest. KCBS hosed me a year ago, whatever it was, right? They did. It is what it is. We've had 3 contests. 2 of them have been awesome. 1 of them not so much. Moved forward. We went out. KCBS was very, very good. They worked with us, and we got Gene Titus and Charlie Brenza, along with Wayne and Rachel Harper, at our contest this year. They helped us by bringing in 2 board members, the ones that are in charge of the reps, with Gene Titus and Charlie Brenza. They came to our event and to make sure that the integrity of our contest and KCBS was upheld. They did a hell of a job. Kudos to them. Eric, my man Eric, he was our judges coordinator. I didn't have to worry about getting judges. We had him come in, and they did their thing. So for me, KCBS is easy. I've had this conversation a lot. I believe that CBA is probably the next closest thing to KCBS, in my opinion. CBA for me would be a very difficult thing to do, because now I have to worry about going to get judges. Now I have to worry about making sure that the reps can get here with all their electronics. Not saying it can't be done. Not saying it hasn't happened. I've witnessed 2 contests outside of Texas that were CBA contests. One was in Rhode Island or wherever it was, and it had 17 or 25 teams in it. And of those 25 teams, 10 or 11 of them were from Texas. So they were chasing Texas points. So we had 11 or 12 KCBS cooks cook a CBA event. There was another CBA event in South Carolina that I heard was an absolute cluster that the people don't want anything to do with. So, but on the flip side, they do an incredible job, and they have taken over the state of Texas, which is a huge, huge barbecue state. They've done an amazing job there.
Fred just popped in. Maybe he can say something on that.
I think CBA does an amazing job in Texas. Fred?
I think they did I don't think in South Carolina, I don't think it was CBA's fault at all. I'm going to just put that
No,
up.
but once again, KCBS gets blamed for a lot of things that they don't do because it's a KCBS contest. CBA got blamed. Uh-oh.
He did that on purpose. He's got a program that does that.
I mean, he said that. He said it in dip. That was amazing.
Tanya just hit the button. You're done.
He hit the button and said, "Shut up, Adam. You can't say that."
So,
but the whole point is CBA is like he said, it's not CBA's fault per se that happened, but it's considered a CBA event, and therefore they got blamed for it. Right? Yeah. Right or wrong?
It's perception is what it was.
Yes.
No, I get it. I've had a lot of people just speak very highly. I've never cooked a CBA. Everything, Fred, to be honest with you. We're about to tear you down. No, I've had a lot of people in the Texas they love CBA. And what we were talking about the KCBS side is, KCBS, as we stated earlier, they used to be bulletproof. There was nobody going up against the monster. They were you were going to get the crumbs if you got them. Right now, there is a little chink in the armor that if you had somebody like a CBA really get spanned out there, it's not as a daunting of a task as we thought it was if they were to expand and get into some things. Again, Fred, I'm glad you're on, buddy. Maybe you can. I don't know how they do the scoring. I don't know how they do the setup. Again, the people in Texas love it. Never cooked one, and my goal is to cook one to try it out. But
they do an amazing job. CBA is killing it in Texas, and they're doing a wonderful job in Texas. And they're expanding. I know they have plans to expand. And Wes, as we talked about earlier today, they're smart, in my opinion, they're smart enough not to try to go take over the world, because they know
their role. Yeah.
I don't think their footprint is ready for that yet. I don't think anybody has a footprint ready to do what KCBS is doing right now. Yeah. Now, to say that they won't get there, that's asinine. They will probably get there. but they're smart enough to not try to.
Let me just ask Fred this so he can comment on here. 2 questions is, do you have goals in expanding nationally? And secondly, how do you currently do your scoring with your rep? Do y'all guys have like an app on their phone? Do you carry your own phones? What do you have and what are you going to kind of combat, let's say, 100-team contest or multiple contests? Because if you're going to grow, obviously you're going to have more than one CBA contest on a weekend. You're going to be like KCBS. Oh no, he just got done evicting someone and he came on. Damn slumlord.
That's crazy. That's creepy. That's creepy.
Hey,
we woke him up.
Hey,
he did.
No lie, just got a knock at the door, and some man on a donkey just pulled up and said, "Hey, Brian, them guys from the Atlanta barbecue store show's trying
to." And he's out. It's that burner phone.
Yeah.
Yes,
a dude on a donkey. It might have been Jesus. It could have been Jesus. You never know.
and he's back.
A donkey.
All right, go ahead.
No, I mean, but what Fred said in the comment is he's correct. They do have a 30+ year head start on them, and they're looking to expand. I mean, and that is where they've really left the door open, because if those guys really try to do this, man, they're going to pick up some market share, and I think they're going to pick it up pretty damn quickly. So
here's what I think's funny. Tim Longo says less entry fees and bigger prize money. That's why they are taking over. Has nothing to do with CBA. That has nothing to do with CBA. That has to do with the organizers that is putting on the event. That's an organizer's thing. Last I checked, Fred, explain to me if I'm wrong. I don't think CBA is paying out the payouts, nor are they taking in the entry fees. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. If they are,
I think you're right on KCBS. That is all the organizer, 100%. You're just paying for KCBS to come in and score your contest. That is it. And to make sure you have a fair and impartial contest. They're not setting up anything. So yes, as Brian stated, I would imagine that is still all an organizer. And we know that they've got a lot of money over there. So you got a lot of organizers that can get good sponsorships, and it's $200 to sign up for a $50,000 contest on any random damn city. Jason, let's just give it up tonight.
We're going to give up on Jason.
Cricket Wireless is not working.
He couldn't even spell his last name correct. Good gracious.
Yeah,
Too many natties. Good gracious.
So,
like that's, as I said, Wes, they can handle multiple contests a weekend. Right? Like that. I believe CBA is on track to give KCBS a run for their money. I really do.
Yeah. It just depends now what they're willing to do and how fast they want to grow.
Right.
It's really kind of up to them now. So it is right for the picking if KCBS does not change some stuff. And, I think they have gotten in front of some of these scoring snafus. I hope, Brian, maybe you have a different opinion. You're an organizer. I'm not. But they can't handle another one. I can tell you that right this second.
Oh, 100%. They can't.
More, they're going to break their backs.
No, I agree 100%. And but the question is how many more do they have to do right?
Good point.
To make it work, right? Like, they are doing way more right than they are wrong, right? Like way more right. And I don't think that KCBS is. I think CBA is doing a wonderful job. I think KCBS is doing a wonderful job. I think GBA is doing a wonderful job. I think SCBA, I think that's what it's called, Jason. They're doing a great job. Like all these different organizations are doing a wonderful job in what they're trying to do. See, they're not trying to take over the world. I do think competition breeds excellence. I agree 100%. That's why Fred is the absolute perfect person to run that thing. He's got it figured out, right? Like he understands what they're doing. David, you look like you're about to just explode over there.
No, I don't know enough about the other organizations. I've only cooked NBN, the only thing I ever cooked, and I would make a comment that I think that CBA they've got the little stuff done right. The scoring system is done right in their world. So that's the first end of it. So no, I was just going to ask a question though, Brian. And Wes, do you think that proximity has really come in? I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. We're wanting more competitions, but you can't have competitions within 150 miles of each other either. So, because then you just water it down as well. So, time of year, looking at the calendar better.
Why can't you have a contest within 125 miles from each other?
I don't think we have as many cooks as we used to have.
You can if you drop this damn 25, because we're going to talk about Jonesboro this year with Sotelo and there was another one and Murfreesboro. And no, that was with Pine Bluff, I think. But bottom line is you had two of them that were fighting to be qualifiers, and they were 120 miles apart. Or was it even that? And there's nothing wrong with that, Brian. But you got two that were fighting, and I don't even think they were qualifiers. And people are like, crap, get away from this little 25 team thing, and you're good. Nobody's worried about it.
So all right. So here's my question: if Jonesboro didn't happen, are those 22 or those 18 people, whoever it was, are they going to go to the other place and cook?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Well, I talked with a lot of them, and they were debating on which one to go to. They only went to Jonesboro because it had more teams signed up, and they were like, "Well, we'll go over here because there's a bigger chance that it'll be a qualifier than the other side." And so you're sitting there going qualifier. So that's all I'm saying, and just drop this.
I agree 100% with the qualifier thing. I think that qualifier thing is outdated. It's way outdated. Like, they did it for a first year contest. You have to have 15 teams or something along those lines.
Just do that across the board.
Do it across the board. At this point in time, when we're struggling for teams, and when the Royal is struggling to get teams to qualify for their contest, the American Royal is the American Royal because you got 200 and something teams cooking in that invitational, and 500 or 600 teams cooking in the Open.
Yes,
that's what makes the American Royal. Not any and. Are those Natty Bird glasses? I mean, I'm telling you what, guys, we got my man on, Jason. How you doing, Jason?
Great. I had to go out and put some gas in the generator, but we're good now. I plugged my Wi-Fi in. There's a big box out there's got Wi-Fi written on it with a Sharpie. It says "plug in here when you want to talk." So what I did.
I heard his neighbor changed their Wi-Fi password.
Well, it's actually on their house. Don't tell nobody.
He's actually in their house on their couch now.
Yeah, exactly right. Heck yeah! Just glad I could join you guys.
So I think that's I think if, like, to me, Wes, I'm with you, like 100%. And David, I don't know if you agree. Jason, I don't know if you agree. Adam, I know you do. What do you like? If there's anything that the KCBS could do or come out with, is like, hey, let's screw this. Let's go talk to the Jack. Let's go talk to the Royal, and say, hey, let's just drop this 15 team thing. Or this 25 team thing, because there's so many contests, and it's our fault as cooks, right? The funny thing is 80% of grands champions aren't going to the Royal to cook it anyway, right? Even when they win, they're not going to cook at the Royal. They're not going to drive that far to go to the Royal in our area, right? Like, you talk about in Oregon, like different parts of the country, they're not going to travel that far. There's only so many people that are going to travel to the Royal or to the Jack or any of those kind of things.
Agreed. But you definitely aren't going to have the teams that are going to come up there just to cook the Open. So you could add a lot more teams if you had the 15 team cutoff. There does need to be a cutoff, whether that be 10, 12, 15. Obviously, I just don't think you could ever go below 10. You got to have some people there. You can't go into a 5-team contest and get a bung in the Jack. But I think it could be 15 because we're losing teams. But you got people that are, coming down, and they're like, I'm not driving 10 hours to cook the Open. I'm just not. I'll stay at the house until I pop one. And there's several that have cooked, and they've done a 17, 18, 20. Hell, we had one that was a 24 and a half this year in Brookhaven. Unfortunately, a guy only turned in 2 meats and, smoked this Missouri. Didn't get a bung and didn't get a draw to the invitation because of it. So my point is, just do that and maybe run it for 2 years and see how it works.
Bill Purvis, you talked about that, right? Like, there was something that happened in Georgia 5 or 6 years ago, right? Like they were like, hey, we're going to have 20 teams come cook in this. And it was basically, I mean, it was borderline an invitational, like, right? There were a lot of crap went on with that. I don't know if Jason, if you remember that. They took 25 teams and they didn't really accept anybody else. And they were like, and the whole purpose was like, we're going to get a Georgia team to win. And that's the kind of crap you got to stop. But KCBS can vet what they're doing with their organizers and everything also. So anyway, it's not what it was anymore. Too expensive. Fuel prices. Judges scoring isn't what it was.
Well, hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask you: Is there a way to look at David on that? Is there a way to look at the data and to see how many teams are actually competing over the last two years or so to see if the amount of teams are actually less than they were 5, 6, 7 years ago, and then base that number off of that? Because, like you said, Wes, there aren't as many teams to fill up competitions anymore as there used to be. I mean, I love so I think that's what you got to do. You got to say, okay, where is our team count now? Where's our active team competition count right now, and how far down is it over the last 10 years or so, and then adjust accordingly. Because I agree, I'm with you guys. I agree that it never the number does need to come down, but because honestly, people say, well, it's just for the Jackard for the Royal, but everybody wants the World Championship title, no matter if it's category, not a category, a category or the Grand Champion. You want that title. Some of us are not as fortunate like Jason to do that.
Next year, ABS Classic will be a World Championship.
Why wouldn't you be? Why can't you be?
Why not? That's a whole other show, Wes, that we've had in the past.
People off on that one.
That is a fun contest. Like, what exactly makes it a world championship? Anyway,
let me ask one of the questions. The KCBS Invitational, there is no minimum there, right? You can get into that just having a grand, correct?
I'll be right back. Adam, you got this.
Yes, he's yep.
Key break.
We got a little saying for that on the other show. You go ahead, guys. Go ahead, Adam. Ask your question.
David, your question is yes. You can have a reserve to cook that one too.
Talking about the KCBS Invitational, yeah.
But you don't have to have a minimum amount of teams, correct, in a contest.
I don't think on the KCBS there is no. I don't think there is somebody's going to pop in on that one. You can grand or reserve, and I don't think there's a minimum as long as you got one or the other. Which honestly should, because they own that, they can make those rules. But again, we got to change those on the rest of them. But
it's a world championship. I guess my point is that
absolutely, it's a world championship.
What's the difference?
I am about to. You were asking about how to do the numbers. You go into the point system and just change the date, and you can see how many teams cooked. So as of right this second in 2024, there was 1559. In 2018, there was almost 2,600. So that's just an 18. You look, you're losing close to, that's close to 1,100 teams. I can go back even further on here, and we're dropping teams. It's at a very rapid rate. So
did you hear that, Brian? I don't know if Brian caught that.
Was it a minimum in the beginning?
What was that, David, that I missed?
Well, Wes just looked it up.
There was 3,000 teams. So in 2016, 3,000 teams. 2018, I just hit random numbers. There was, 2,600 teams. And then right now, 2024, there's a little over 1,500 teams.
Mm-hmm. So I do have a question. When I got up to leave, did everybody else leave you like that other show just leaves you hanging completely?
I'm not somebody that can be left hanging.
I watched the show the other day, and Jason got up to go find his brisket trophy. Yeah. And when Jason got up, Bill and Phil just like, deuces, I'm out. Wes, see you. You're on your own.
I had to walk next door to my house to get the brisket trophy.
My guests didn't do that, Bill. I see what's happening, Bill. We don't do that to you over here. We're just, it's cool. We are the dollar show of barbecue. Dollar General barbecue, but we didn't leave you hanging. Just saying, Wes. Love you, man.
True. That's true. I can always count on my boy Adam to come in there. I can't shut him up, but damn it, he's there.
Got you.
He's got us. But no, it is trending down super quick, and I don't know how to get that back up. But look, the cost is the cost. That is not changing, and you know, I hear all these people, and I talked about it, you know, earlier in the show. We got to figure out how to figure. There are some of these barbecue contests that, like I said, they'll do the meats. Guys, we're not getting away from expensive meats. If you're going to lie about it, sneak it in, these people are going to cook. That damn Jason Singletary is going to cook a 180 Wagyu brisket. He just did. If he
He'll
is
try.
in a
He'll try hard.
choice,
9
he's
volt,
still
9
cooking
volt, a 180 9-volt brisket, not a
a
Wagyu.
metallic brisket.
You can cook a damn sirloin brisket. Just as long as you put 9 volts to it, it's gonna get a 180. So,
But Bill's right. Everything is expensive. I mean, it just is. I mean, you hell a Packer brisket now at Costco is almost $100.
it is.
How much you pay for chicken? I mean, it's not cheap neither. As many packs as you go through.
As many as you go through, you're going to spend down there $80 to $100 just trying to call chicken out.
But in 2016, we had 3,000 teams. Hell, it was expensive then too. I mean, you think about it. I mean, brisket still was $150, $160 then. So
no, I'll say this. The teams that were winning and doing really well, it was expensive.
Yeah,
there were a lot of teams in 2016. They were just field fillers. Like, I feel like the biggest change that we have in contests today,
there's no field fillers left.
Is the field fillers are not there as much anymore. That's a whole nother stuff. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I would agree with that, but at the same time, it comes back to the field fillers still made, you know, they made the qualifiers. They helped make it.
Right.
We're talking to you. Look me in my field fillers. We need you back. We want
absolutely.
You back.
But you know why we had so many of them, and I'm going back to what I posted earlier, is because of those shows, those pitmaster shows. Hell, I didn't know who Case Biaz was before those pitmaster shows come on. You know, everybody's watching TV, looking at this stuff, and they're like, I want to try it. So you have those guys that go try it, and they say, shit, the hell with this. Number one, it's too expensive, and it's a freaking lot of work. So those kind of faded out. But
you're right. And then everybody,
I think those TV shows helped it out tremendously.
They're pissed off. You know,
I'll say this, and like, by no means do I think we have a great contest. I think we have a contest that is, we try really hard to put on a contest that we hope that people will come back to. My whole goal is for somebody to come cook our contest and be like, man, we had fun at that contest. It was a good time. I want to come back. That's my whole goal. Right? Wes, you were at our contest and you're like, man, this is one of the coolest potlucks that we've seen over and over again, right?
It was the greatest potluck I have been to. It is like I walked into Piccadilly. Y'all even had a greeter, had to-go boxes. It was everything. It was phenomenal.
It was great.
I mean,
he was at a church revival
I've ever had in my life. Made me.
He's getting ready to sing some salvation songs.
Oh, we even had a birthday in there. They all came around saying happy birthday to the person. It was just like we're in one of those little buffets.
We may pass the plate next year then, Brian.
You need, hey, but I gotta mention like what Tim says on Tim Longo, and he I hate to admit it, Tim, but you're right. But if we were to get back a Pitmasters, if we were to get back one of these long running shows, you tell me that didn't absolutely like just spur everybody getting into it. If we were to get something back that did oh, let's not get started. Anybody here eating the pasta kale salad?
It was delicious. Hey, Brandy could cook some pasta kale salad.
Hey,
we're still looking for 3 people that pasta kale salad.
Did they use that Indonesian kale from
Yes.
from West?
Yes,
Because if they use that, you can just eat that straight out the bag. That stuff was awesome.
Tell Brandy I needed the recipe for Christmas dinner. Please send it on its way, please.
She brought a half a cup of pasta salad. So that was good.
A half a cup of pasta.
250 people there. But what I was saying is, if we were to have that back, I think that would help spur it on. You know, now Bill Purvis, I know he's kind of working on some things. Correct me. I know he had one of the guys at our show Wednesday at the Royal that he may be trying to work with getting some things. He's always got his hand in something. We need that back. We need a Barbecue USA, but
absolutely,
man, we've got to have something that'll get the interest, because that got me started. And I can almost guarantee you that got everybody here started on that, was watching it. And it needs to go more in the season. But at the same time, you know, we can't make these networks run it. They're looking at money. They're looking at, is this thing getting views? we got to make it. We got to do it on a national TV and not like a podcast or Facebook episode.
Right.
But we've got to do something to make it bigger, right? Like I agree 100% what y'all are saying. We've got to have something to make it happen. Pitmasters came on when barbecue was pretty big too, right? Like it was bigger then than it is now, right? Like it had more going on. I think the biggest thing that's hurting us is the fact that we don't have many festivals anymore. In my opinion, we've got to do, and I think Adam hit the nail on the head earlier in the show, was we've got to get the public more involved in the events. So at our event, personally, first year we did it, we had public show up and they're like, man, what is there to do? I was like, well, nothing. These guys are barbecue cooks and screw y'all can't try it. Like y'all just look at it and you know, nobody's even talking to them. The next year we did a people's choice to make it more involved. And we did a blind people's choice. Didn't work because everybody's like, well, whose is this? I want to know whose this is. So this year we made it to where it's going through the event, and the people liked it so much more because they felt like they were part of the event. And you've got to get the public to where they're part of the cook teams. And as cooks, we got to get over, I don't want to deal with people, right? Like if we want our stuff to grow, we've got to be able to deal with the public, because I mean, at our contest, every year I've had somebody come to our contest and say, your event, I came to your event to see it and we decided to cook your contest, right? Yeah. It's happened every year. And that's the kind of things that have to happen. We've got to get people from the public coming to see what we do and be like, I want to be a part of this. How do I do it?
I agree. Can I suggest one more thing? And
please do.
I will tell you, this is something that maybe KCBS, they don't want to say yay or nay, but they need to they need to let us sell our meat to the public, or just don't say that we can't.
That's not KCBS. That's the organizer.
Is that not? Who is that? Is that you damn organizers?
That's us organizers.
I'll say it again. Y'all need to get out of the way and let us sell to the public. First of all, we're going to talk with them. We're going to hustle them out of their money, and we're going to get our money back.
So, you can't sell it, but they're going to want you to pay a vendor fee or something like that. So that's what it's going to get into, because they got vendors there and they're saying, well, you know what I'm saying? That's just. And
I think it can very easily be done. I think Greenwood, South Carolina does an amazing job with the way they do things.
Right.
But you're not selling. You can't sell to the public, but you can take donations and therefore do that. So what Greenwood, and Jason, you're probably way more familiar with this than I am. Greenwood sells tickets to they sell tickets. It's a donation, whatever it is. And then the teams give out samples, and then the organizer comes back and pays those teams.
They buy the tickets back. Yeah.
They buy the tickets back. So it can be done. But once again, that's an organizer thing, not necessarily a KCBS thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And if you do a donation, you can avoid the health department. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, and most health departments in most states have if it is a 1-day event, which would be the day of the event, you could sell to the public. In Mississippi, if it is a 1-day event, you don't have to have all the stuff to sell to the public. If it is a multi-day event, which we get there early, but it's only considered the day of event, you could sell. I get that each state will be a little different. All I'm saying is allow us. Look, I'll put a for sale sign up. I joke a lot, but I throw away a lot of the damn meat anyway, because I don't feel like trying to sell it at the house and have people come over. Let me sell it there, recoup some money, and it lets people feel like I got to go buy some meat off of a team. Got to see it.
Yeah. Now, here's a terrible thing to say. Jason, you're big in SCBA, or you used to be big in SCBA, right?
Right.
You had to cook a case of pork butts in order to be a part of the contest, right?
No, you had to cook their meat. Yeah, but you had to cook. That's part of their deal. You have to cook a case of pork butts, and then you have to give it to the public. So
that is, and look, we ask people to cook 2 pork butts, and I completely understand, because I'm the same guy that that is complaining about it because I don't have capacity for cooking 2 extra pork butts at a contest.
Yeah.
Right. But and we are very appreciative of the teams, but we ask you to cook 2 pork butts. And then a lot of times it's like, man, I can't do that. I don't want to do that, and that's fine. We don't care. But a lot of teams will bring, I think, Jason, you brought a bunch of meat in, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like a lot of teams will go ahead and cook it and bring it in later. But
that's what he does for his contest too. He pre-cooks it.
Don't get all upset, Wes. Say that again.
I said that's what Jason does all of his cooks anyway. He's pre-cooked it at the house, layers it out, and then he puts it in some boiling water and throws it in a box.
Delicious. That's why you get that metallic thing. They get that metallic flavor, right, Wes?
That's where that 9-volt comes from.
Overnight. That's what happens.
Yeah.
I've learned it.
Yeah. All you got to do is put a little charge to it. It's amazing.
There's little things like that again that can help us. There's again, nobody here is saying that the board is doing bad. I have a board's doing. I just know that it hasn't trickled down to anything has changed. And if it has, and if I haven't noticed it, somebody in the comments or somebody on here tell me it is status quo, nothing's changed, and we're about to vote in some new people that are going to probably do the same thing. And they may be having issues on the board of getting stuff passed. Completely understand.
Here's one thing I want to ask y'all, right? Because I don't know how many people know this. I want, Adam and I, we talk about this all the time. I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. I want to be a judge. Adam's not a judge either. He wants to be a judge. There's not very many opportunities for us to judge, to take the judging class. In order, they came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to host a judges class?" I was like, "Well, what does it mean?" They're like, "Well, you need to find a location to do it. You need to find cooks to cook the meat and do it. You need to go out and try to find judges to come take your class. And you need to pay us."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, all the yous there were wrong. That's backwards.
100%. So my thing is why does Casey? It is Casey. I can go cook any KCBS contest in the world, and I don't have to be a member. I don't have to be a member of KCBS at all to go cook a contest. I do have to be a member, therefore, to judge a contest.
Right.
So why is it up to me as an organizer who they're really trying to push to get to do these judges classes? Why is it up to me to go get them to find judges? Why is it my job to go get them members? That's where I struggle. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
You know what? We did our first NBN judging class. We jumped to the NBN world. It wasn't even at a contest. It was just an NBN class that was sponsored by the NBN. We went down to Clarksdale, Mississippi, I believe is where it was. Heath Rouse and Pork Illustrated did the cooking for the class. It had nothing to do with a contest. It meant nothing. You go down there, you did the class, you learned it all, you came back home. I agree with you, Brian. I don't think it's incumbent upon the organizer to do anything to promote judges in terms of getting more judges or a class. It means nothing. Granted, they need to go find a team to actually cook the class, if not 2 teams to cook the class, like they did for the NBN thing. Totally.
But I have to supply. If I were to do a class, I think
they should supply the meat or pay you back for that.
I have to supply meat. I have to find a cook team to come cook it. I have to find the venue. They're like, well, you can make money on it. Well, okay, so I'm gonna go try to make money on. I just that to me is one of the things that just blows my mind. Is why does Casey, if anything, they can come up with doing their own judge classes? That's amazing to me.
Yep, I think that's a great point. I think that's a very good point.
And that way you get more members, and that way you get more people involved and everything else.
And make them random. Make them not even a part of it. I mean, we could have judges classes next week in Memphis. It has nothing to do with the class. Who cares about it? I mean, a contest.
So apparently, the reason that there are judges classes is for organizers to go out and get judges for their contest in their area. Okay. Well, you know what? I mean, we're blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed at the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic. We have judges that sign up for our contest. We're blessed. I don't have to go out and get a new base of judges. Not everybody can say that. I understand that, but it still should be. That is something I would love to see changed, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with you
agree.
there.
It's there's still again there's a lot of little things that can change overnight that could kind of feed everybody to keep everybody kind of. We're not bitching. We're just trying to get a couple of things changed out here. So again, change the year, change the 2 to 4 meat, change vending or whatever selling. It's do something. Let us know. Just tweak it a little bit and let us know actually, because I think I've been hearing the same promises for the last 4 boards, and it is the same stuff. And this is where when I leave, or we'll get off here. This is what's going to piss off the people that are on the board. I'm not speaking to you. I'm just speaking to is it not the same little pitch that you hear from everybody? And we're going to hear the same pitches from the next one. That was going to be funny. Okay.
Hey, is it a 2-year deal as a board member? Is that what you said? 2 years?
I think it's 2 years. I mean, I know that there's elections every year, I think, but I believe it's 2 years. Somebody else can I mean,
come in if it is truly 2 years, as a individual, you can't get anything done in 2 years. I'm sorry, you can't.
3 years.
You have an idea.
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
So I got a question.
So why are they having elections every year if it's a 3-year term?
Well,
Well,
because
they got
people
4,000
roll off.
4,000 judges, or they got 4,000 members or board members.
If there's 12 people on there and 4 roll off or whatever it is every year.
They're not okay. I didn't know if they were just doing how many they had overall. I guess they're just doing it. Yeah, they're doing.
I think it's only for 2 or 3 spots, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess it would be for 4 spots then. Every 3 years, 4 rolling off.
Like Tailgater Hater said, they train judges at contests. What is it? SBN?
That's SCBA. Yeah,
the SCBA. So why couldn't you have, like, say you got a 6-table contest? Why couldn't you train 6 judges at that contest for a future contest?
I wouldn't trust some reps to train some judges.
Well, how about the table cap?
Did I say that? No, I mean I think you do need to have a standardized judging team that goes a teaching team that goes around and teaches one vision versus having somebody that's kind of doesn't have the same vision as what. That's some of the problem too. I think that judges
they do have that.
Reps
They do have that right now. I think the Bigglers are the ones in our area that are judged, that are the coordinator, the
correct,
whatever you want to call them. They teach the judge class.
Mm-hmm.
How in the hell is
Bill
Eric
said if you have somebody doing the thing at a restaurant, that's not the same quality of food though.
So going back to David's question at the beginning, what's average barbecue? Is it restaurant barbecue or is it competition barbecue? What is average barbecue? That's a whole nother show.
I want the judges to get the worst barbecue whenever they go in there. So when they come out, I look and make that shit terrible. So anything gets a 9. I'm all about it. But yeah, that is weird to have a restaurant do that. But I mean, again, going back to Eric would be perfect. The guy travels the country anyway, right? I mean, that guy go to Guam and do a contest. Well, have him go out. He's pretty tough. Hell, he's cost one of his best friends a couple of grand this year because he's not going to give Jason no 9s when he don't deserve a 9. That guy's straight laced as they come.
No, I mean, he's sitting there like, screw you. This is done.
Yeah, you thought that rib was good. Take that 8 and shut up. That's what he told him.
Oh, he's brutally honest. I will say that.
He knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say you better you better listen to him if he talks.
At least he ain't 987 or 789 and give me my goodie bag and send me home. You know what I'm saying? So.
Look, as an organizer, and I think Jason would. I think Jason. What's up? Take it easy. I think Jason would probably say something like this. As an organizer, there's only so much that KCBS can do, right? Like, I'm not going to let KCBS come in and try to take over my event. And I don't think he's going to do the same thing with his event. He's put too much time and effort into his event to let KCBS come in and do too much. So there is the whole aspect of, I wish as an organizer, and they do a good job for me. They've done a good job for me. But I wish they could come in as an organizer and help more organizers to sustain barbecue, like to help figure out how to make barbecue better. That's the biggest thing. I always say that KCBS gets too much credit when things go well and too much credit when things go bad. It's just like somebody said earlier. It's like Adam said, like, I blame CBA for the South Carolina event. I didn't blame them.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that they did. It was a CBA event that got people are like, well, I'm not going to go cook CBA because of that event. It had nothing to do with CBA. It had to do with the South Carolina group, right?
Y'all were there. Exactly.
Totally.
100%.
What happened? Can I, just so we can get it clear, can we call some people out?
That's a whole nother show.
Because I think we're hurting.
Make a show out of that one. Look, other than it being like the hottest place I've ever been in my life, it was so freaking hot. But I mean, they could have done things so different, so much different. Like CBA is a big deal, and I'm like Brian said, they do a great job. That guy that was there, the organizer, not the organizer, but the rep that was there handling that thing.
Briefers.
I think that was him and his wife doing it.
Yep.
They did a great job. But you know that the CBA contest was done and over with. They give us a participation freaking piece of paper saying that we cooked it, and then we went on to their deal, right? So they only took the top 5. But I mean, my buddy Tailgater Hater, like, he's on here. He won that deal, right?
Yeah,
that was his first grand, like big contest grand. He's won several grands with like SCBA, but I'm just saying, like, it's the first CBA grand, right? First one he ever cooked. But I mean, he gets a freaking piece of paper saying, "Hey, you won the contest," and that's it.
Yeah. And everybody's going to blame CBA, but that is all on the organizer. What they get.
It's all on. It has nothing to do with CBA. It was 100%.
But the first taste of CBA in South Carolina, they're like, man, I went over there for a damn participation trophy.
Yep.
And they're going to get the black eye when it had absolutely nothing to do with them. Yeah.
And cooked against the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's all good. But
I think it's safe to say, though,
CBA. Those guys did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, and Brian's given out a full set of just killed bullhorns that still had scalp on them.
Scab.
Like, yeah, he didn't care. I mean, I saw the bull when I drove up, and then you win it and brisket. Dude, he should have had CBA just had Brian do the contest, and everybody would have wanted to do it.
I don't know about all that. I mean, Wes, did you get a trophy? Did you get one of those peaches?
These were $500 a piece peaches. I got 2 of them in there.
Yeah. One's on Marketplace.
I'm selling one since I got 2. So if anybody wants to bid on it, starting at $750.
So
beautiful,
so
heavy.
So Wes was talking about it earlier. Jason, you've got Cole. Cole is your guy, right? Like he ain't going nowhere. Micah's the one that now Micah, you know, he's look at Adam up there. Adam's up there shaking his head. Wes is shaking his head.
Micah is going to be a Garrett between the next 2 years. I'm adopting that guy.
Sarah
He's in the wheel.
Yeah. How's Sarah? How's Sarah doing? Is Sarah in training?
Get Sarah trained a little better.
Get her trained up here a little bit.
Her swinging her arms, singing.
You come to Sipping Swine, I'll guarantee you get Sarah.
Yeah, me and Brian actually talked about that. I think we're gonna let Rooster have Sarah next contest. So.
Yeah, that's a good one to have right there because he's probably gonna be 5 feet from turning anyway.
She will frisbee. She'll frisbee that turn-in box to the table. She like, boom. Hey guys, here
Mike
it is.
is my boy. He's I love him. So I got to hold on to him. And when I come east, I got to get Micah.
Man, I tell you what, it's kind of funny. We talked about it earlier, and Cole is done. Cole is locked up. I mean, Jason has done what he can to lock
That's
Cole
his
up.
uncle, man.
I mean,
man, I don't know. David had me feeling so bad about the 180s earlier. I was ready to at least let him run one of David's boxes. But I like to say we're gonna circle back around to table 311. I can't blame table 311. I'm pretty sure I saw Cole stop and pet David and Joel's dog. I'm pretty sure the dog hacked his leg on my chicken box while he was petting the dog. So
Good,
like
Daisy.
you say, that deal works if you let the dog go to your site, not on your
Yes.
box. And
No,
I
you
just
got.
so happened to hit table 311 with my chicken box.
Yeah,
So
she been
I'm not
voodoo.
blaming table 311. I'm almost positive that the dog
Yeah.
hiked his leg on my box
Good girl,
while
Daisy. Good
Cole
girl,
was
baby.
petting the dog. No, hey, I ain't blaming the dog either. I'm just saying. I'm gonna tell Cole next time, just bypass the dog. Bypass the dog until we turn the last box in.
You got to get a little green baggie of good luck.
Yes,
You
I'm
have
getting it
to.
for you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
yeah.
man. It's
So,
that and Waffle House at the Royal. Ain't that right, Jason? Those are
Yeah,
three nights.
absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
If anybody's not
going
going to
no
Waffle
doubt.
House with us, you ain't getting calls at the Royal.
Adam, we got to figure out how we can stay up and make it to the Waffle House of the Royal. You know, Wes won't let us go because we weren't in the original crowd, but we're going to have to show up anyway to get to this.
I'm pretty sure that place is sold out for next year. But if you talk with either me or Wes, we may could get you in there. We slide you in the back door or something.
Hey, Jason,
There's
can
not
I
enough
go?
tables for all the people going next year. I can assure you, it'll be a private event. It absolutely
And
will. We had
and
that thing.
and
back.
I'm renting. If they do have room next year, I'm renting a bus. I'm not driving because and Jordan sure as hell ain't navigating. So yeah, we about didn't get there this year.
Yeah, there was something. I think, yeah, Bill. I'm not sure Bill knew we were at a Waffle House. I've got pictures I'll post later. I've been meaning to post. There was a lot of calls that came out of that picture. Let me just assure
Yeah, it
you.
was.
It was.
He's just glad to be
and where
alive.
did it all
Bill,
start?
if we go next year, we calling the bus.
All right, so I got to ask a question. Where does it all start? At what location does the whole Waffle House start from?
I have
It
no
starts from
idea
your
where those
location.
bad decisions
Atlanta
start.
barbecue store
Atlanta.
is when we go back and we're hungry and nobody stoked the fire and Robert has got 3 pieces of some damn fruity cheese that he's passed out and we're hungry and we're like, hey, we're going to Waffle House. And next thing you know, we have got a conflict going. Some are going right, some are going the wrong way down the wrong way road. Some show up later, and the next thing you know, there's 25 people shoved into 3 booths.
That's pretty much that sums it up right there.
That sums up Thursday night at the Royal.
I forgot about Robert, this fruity ass cheese. Yeah, that just wasn't gonna make it.
He
I
has
didn't know
a
if I needed
miracle cheese.
I didn't know if I
one of my
needed a knife to
favorite
spread
parts
that
of the
thing on a
Royal is
bagel.
Thursday night with the Robert's cheese spread. Like he comes out with his whole. I mean, he's got like 15 different cheeses that we all try. I mean, it is great. It's part of the Thursday
It's every
night
year. It's every year. He gets his Amish cheese.
He does,
and he's going to make people try it. And he's got enough.
And they're good. It is some good cheese.
Imported kale, imported cheese. I'm telling you, I can't hang out with y'all bougie.
And then you got Singletary that comes in,
bars everything.
has people dragging all of the stuff out there. Don't care, just having a good time. Some that's just what do you call that? Assisted world championship? What is that?
Luck. You just call it luck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you serious, David? What is that backdrop right there?
That's Daisy poop right there. That's a poop, but Daisy poop right there. Y'all need some of that for the.
No, it's right on your head where it needs to be.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, it's good times. But I think we hit on pretty much everything when it comes to the KCBS stuff. And I think there's a lot of people that'll listen. Maybe they'll listen to this show and throw out some stuff and some comments. But just show us what you're doing. Tell us some things that are coming down the pipeline. I'm not going to go read minutes, so maybe put out a post. I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see it too. Hey, Adam, isn't it awesome to have a legit producer on our show tonight? I mean, we have got a producer tonight, and he is the man. I mean, I tell you what,
man,
highly paid. Y'all don't know how much it cost me to have him come on. And I can't, the bill, who knows what this bill is going to cost me. He promised me 30 minutes and we're on at least 45.
Hey, is this our first ever 2-hour show?
This is the first ever 2-hour show. And
this is awesome.
I don't know how it happened.
He told me that he would get me 2 peaches minimum if I'd come on a show to be determined later. Look at this shameless plug.
All right, let's
do
plug
that.
it. CBA
Woo!
World,
I wanted to take
$50,000
Paul
payout,
back
January
into that.
10th, somewhere in Texas. Registration went live today. Sign up. Would love to have you all guys come down. All right. What is the easiest way, Fred? What's the easiest way to sign up? Is it on CBA's website? Is it on what's the name of it? Throw on the place where we can register, and we will plug the crap out of it. I am not just a KCBS guy. I am a competition barbecue guy. I want competition barbecue to be great everywhere.
January 10th. Oh,
you know what?
That's
That'll
the
be
weekend after
it.
Jim
Is
Jam.
it is in kind of at the end of our hunting rut, so I gotta check on that. However, I will ask Fred this: will you tell people, the KCBS people, give us some pointers on how we need to cook this stuff for your
That's
thing?
the same weekend as Jimmy Jam, Jason.
what's that?
That's the same weekend as Jimmy Jam.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Jason, do you want to
Sounds
be a
good.
world champion, or you want to be king of Jimmy Jam? Just
Hey,
saying.
man. I'm just going with the flow.
I'm sure somebody get you some Webbers or get you some
Wes
drums.
is so professional.
You're not right. We're losing.
No
this.
doubt.
Let's get it
If
back
I
on
wasn't
the
already
road.
signed up for Jimmy Jam, I might well do that. No doubt.
Just saying, man. Hey, are we
I know
really doing the
my
ABS
boys
World
out there in
Championship
Texas,
next
they'll
year?
take care of it.
Yeah, it's a world championship next year.
We're doing it. Can we have a world championship? Can we get a replica of like the wood at the Royal? Put a peach crown on it?
No, we're going to stick with our peaches.
It's just for the winner.
Okay. Well, you know what? The winner's going to be a belt. That is as excited as Paul and Lynn were for the belt this year. We're going to go.
Hey, Wes,
I'm listening.
does your Wi-Fi box have a place for quarters?
Yeah.
If it does, put one in there. Mine does. That's all. I'm just saying.
Is mine going out? I think you're going out, and you think that I'm going out.
Get the car wash and Wi-Fi all in one.
I think you're getting feedback off those goggles.
Oh,
you take those goggles off.
Yeah, it could be.
Huge.
I can't see. Look, I can do that, and I can't see anything. Boy, I'm blind.
I can see Sabrina in the kitchen from those things. Look at them.
All right, CBABBQ.com. Hold on.
What's happening.
We got important stuff going on. CBABBQ.com events page. Look for this is a lot to do. Event page. Look for CBA World on the list, and there is a registration tab. There you go. That's how you do it.
All right. CBA barbecue. Gotcha.
All right. So, real quick before we end the show, it's been an awesome show.
I got another pair of glasses.
Jason, what do people that are coming to the ABS Classic class have to look forward to?
Oh man, look, it's gonna be good. I can't spoil all my secrets. You know what I got planned
because you gave them all out. You don't have any.
Spoil that deal. But yeah, it's gonna be big time. It's gonna be a good time. Now I'm telling you, that's gonna be
Friday night dinner. Friday night dinner is gonna be different. I'm not gonna talk about what
it'll be very different.
It's gonna be different this year. Jason has asked if he could take over cooking the dinner, so
that's right.
He's cooking dinner. I have no clue what we're having, but it's going to be good.
Hamburger
and you got a great chicken cook, right?
Yeah, she's asleep.
Well, as is everybody else.
Well, wake her up and let her eat something. She needs to eat something.
Who's the rib cook? The rib cook is Paul and Lynn, Rooters and Tutors, right? And Robert and Lex are cooking brisket. It's going to be awesome.
Who's in pork?
Pork is in all honesty, if you're going to learn anything, it's probably going to be pork. So if you want to up your pork game, go ahead and come on and take the ABS Classic class. How do you like that, Wes? See, I finally.
Who's sponsoring the pork? What maple syrup company is sponsoring the pork?
Run Amok.
Oh, that's some good
stuff.
The sugar, what is it? The sugar. Oh God, what was the brand of it? Anyway, I know what you're talking about. That's some good stuff.
Run them up.
Don't worry about that.
No, I should have
had them. I should have told people that. Should I have?
No,
because that is some expensive. Guys, if you go look at that, that is not cheap maple syrup, and he runs a lot of it. That's all I can tell you.
Best.
Can you buy those notes as well? If you would like to hit me up after the class or the show, we can talk about.
Can you buy that Run Amok on the Atlanta Barbecue Store?
No, you cannot.
You need to sell it.
Wes has got a. He sound. You ever heard of that Colin guy on ESPN that does the show?
Colin Cowherd,
just like that guy.
He's now on my Fox.
Who hates him? Yeah.
Everybody hates Colin. Thanks, Jason.
Kind of like
Charles
Barkley.
Just like him. If I wasn't sitting there and know it was you, you sound. I was like, dang, we got calling her.
Y'all
The
remember
herd.
Jeff
We got the
Foxworthy?
herd on ESPN.
Jason sounds just like him.
Jeff Foxworthy. You ever heard a redneck from South Carolina? Jason sounds just like him.
He's the
No,
only
not
South
me.
Carolina guy that sounds like he's from Louisiana. I'm
No,
telling
it's
you,
not
close
me.
your eyes.
It's
You can
that
hear the
Mississippi
coon
guy. Sound just like calling her.
Oh man, that was fun. That was good.
Guys, y'all are amazing. Hey,
Thank you.
sometime in December, there is a vote for the nominations for the KCBS board. Wednesday, there is a KCBS, I think, sponsored. Am I correct on all this, Wes? I mean, I know you checked it out today.
I don't even know who's all running, but I'd like to see you guys make some good promises. I'm going to have to go back and are they doing some type of politicking?
They're doing a roundtable Wednesday night.
I will actually watch that.
Paul
I wanna know
Buob,
what they're
I
gonna
do
do.
know Paul Buob is the one that is hosting it. I was going to do it, but I'm not going to jump on their shows. So
Why can't we do like an Eli or Manning cast of the show?
that would be fun.
Can we do a Manning cast? Can we do a Jarvis cast of the show?
We can.
Are you be able to watch the show and ask questions? I guess kind of like.
Well, we can comment on what they're saying.
Yeah.
No.
Are the comments going to be on or off?
Oh, definitely on.
We're going to make it
Work
happen.
on that, Brian, and see if we can do a Jarvis cast of.
Let's
of
see.
that.
Hey, Wes, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that.
That's a no.
Look, it cost me an absolute fortune to get Wes on tonight. I don't know how in the world I'm going to be able to get him on 2 nights in 1 week.
He had to actually sell a half of a Bitcoin to get me on.
I mean, I really did, and that was for 30 minutes, and we're running at 2 hours. So
you're going to have to sell one of those stories on top of your house. What is that? A 4-story house?
That's what Adam is. Look at
that.
Wes
will have to come on for like another 8 months because he put so much time in tonight.
I know.
Yeah.
Look at that
for a year.
Hey, Wes, before you leave, will you grab me a couple bags of pellets? I'm about out.
I will. I'll get you taken care of.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, I hope you all have a wonderful night. We will see you next week on Chewin the BBQ Fat. Next week will be ladies' night. Y'all have a good one, everybody.
Be good, guys.